It was supposed to be just another night on the road. Daniel Reed, 32, a traveling mechanic from Ohio, had been driving for almost 12 hours straight through the rain-soaked back roads of Pennsylvania when his GPS began to lose signal. The storm outside howled like something alive, and the wipers fought uselessly against the thick sheets of rain that blurred the world beyond the windshield. The highway was empty. No headlights, no gas stations, no towns for miles. Then, through the mist, a faded neon sign flickered to life. Sunset Motel, vacancy. Daniel felt a rush of relief. He turned off Route 46, pulling into the cracked asphalt lot. The sign buzzed faintly, half its letters dead, casting a pale red glow over a row of 12 rooms. The place looked abandoned, the kind of roadside relic that hadn't seen travelers since the 1970s. As he stepped out, the rain eased just enough to hear the creak of the motel's old swinging sign and the faint hum of a power line above. The air smelled of wet earth and mildew. Inside the lobby, the fluorescent lights flickered to life as if startled by his presence. The front desk was empty, but a bell sat there, tarnished and rusted. Daniel rang it once. The door behind the counter creaked open, and an elderly woman appeared, thin, grey-haired, wearing an outdated floral dress. Her smile was too wide, her teeth too straight to be real. "You're lucky, dear," she said, voice trembling. "We rarely get visitors this late. Storms keep people away." Daniel signed the worn guest book, noticing that the last entry was dated 1998, and handed her $40 in cash. "Room 9, she said, sliding him a brass key on a faded plastic tag. "Don't worry about the noise tonight. It's just the wind." Room 9 was at the far end of the row. The door creaked open to reveal a time capsule of peeling wallpaper, an old rotary phone, and a static-filled television humming in the corner. The sheets smelled faintly of smoke, the carpet was damp, and something about the air felt thick, like the room hadn't been opened in decades. Daniel was too tired to care. He kicked off his boots, turned off the light, and collapsed onto the bed. For a moment, the storm outside faded into white noise. Then, somewhere beyond the thin wall, he heard it, a soft thumping. It was slow, rhythmic, like someone knocking from the next room. He told himself it was plumbing, or maybe the wind rattling something loose. But the sound continued, steady and deliberate. Knock, knock, knock. Daniel sat up, his heart quickening. "Hello?" he called out. No response. He walked to the window, pulled back the curtain, and froze. The parking lot was empty. Not just of cars, but of everything. No sign, no office, no other rooms. Just endless dark road stretching out in both directions. His reflection in the glass seemed too slow to move with him, like a frame lagging behind reality. The knocking grew louder, now coming from inside the room. Daniel spun around. The bathroom door was slightly ajar, a faint orange glow spilling through the crack. He stepped closer, hand trembling, and pushed it open. The light flickered, and for a second, he saw himself standing inside. Not a reflection, another version of him, soaked, pale, with hollow eyes and lips whispering something inaudible. Then the light burst, plunging the room into darkness. Daniel stumbled backward, slamming into the wall. The motel seemed to shift, as though the structure itself were breathing. He groped for the door handle and yanked it open, but the hallway was gone. In its place stretched a long corridor of doors, hundreds of them, each numbered 9. The smell of wet soil and rust filled the air. At the far end, a dim red light glowed. He ran toward it, shouting, but his voice was swallowed by a low hum that vibrated through the walls. Every door he passed whispered, faint voices murmuring his name. When he reached the end, the corridor opened into the lobby again, but it wasn't the same. The wallpaper was blackened with smoke. The counter was burned, and the guest book was charred and half-melted. The old woman was there, still smiling, but now her eyes were gone. Hollow sockets, leaking black tears. "You checked in," she said softly. "No one ever checks out." Daniel screamed, backing away, only to trip over something on the floor. A corpse, bloated and pale, wearing his own clothes. The brass key lay beside it, stained with blood. Suddenly, the rotary phone on the desk began to ring. Its shrill tone cut through the silence. Against every instinct, Daniel picked it up. A distorted version of his own voice whispered through the static, "You shouldn't have opened the door." The line went dead. The lights flickered one final time, and when they stabilized, Daniel found himself standing outside. The storm gone, the sun rising. The motel was silent, its sign now completely dark. For a moment, he thought it had all been a dream. He turned toward his car, heart still pounding. But when he reached for the handle, he froze. There, reflected faintly in the driver's window, stood the old woman behind him, smiling. "You forgot to leave your key," she whispered. The next morning, a state trooper found Daniel's car parked on Route 46, engine running, doors locked, radio playing soft static. The police report said no motel existed at that location, not for the last 20 years. Locals claimed the Sunset Motel had burned down in 1999 after a gas leak killed all 12 guests inside. They say sometimes during heavy storms, the neon sign flickers back to life, and travelers, desperate for shelter, pull in and never leave. Some truckers swear they've heard a man's voice on the CB radio late at night, repeating the same words. "Room 9, check in, please don't knock." The town eventually blocked off the old highway, but people still disappear there, and if you ever drive down Route 46 during a rainstorm, you might see it too. That flickering red sign through the fog, glowing like a heartbeat. If you stop and step inside, you'll find the same old woman at the desk, smiling patiently, key in hand. She'll say the same words she's said for decades. "You're lucky, dear. We rarely get visitors this late." And when you wake up the next morning, if you wake up at all, you'll realize something chilling. The world outside isn't quite the same anymore. The road stretches endlessly, the signs are blank, and somewhere behind you, in every shadow, something keeps knocking.